We're on the road for market day. We're going to Corydon, Indiana. Is that how you say it? Corydon, Indiana. Big market, cars packed, extra full. Mom's here. Everybody say hi, Mom, in the comments. Hello. We got our Stanley cups. We got our sweet teas from McDonald's. I can't really show that, but you can see there's so much back here. So much. We're gonna meet up with April from the Cozy Buckeye. She's gonna be hanging out with us this weekend too while we're there, which is gonna be so fun because I haven't seen her since the retreat in the fall. And we're gonna hit the road and I will keep you guys updated. We've made it. We've made it. It is rainy and my curls have already fallen out, sadly, but we are at the market for this weekend, which is super fun. I'm super excited. It's been rainy off and on, but again, we're underneath this big pavilion, so we should be fine. We are right on the corner as soon as you walk in, so I'll have to show you what that looks like. Okay, this is you walking up. Pretend this is you. And then we're right on the corner, only entrance. We are setting up all the shelves and the big plushies and the little plushies in their bins, and then our plan is to deconstruct our setup essentially. So we're going to put all of the already sorted items back, keep them in their bins, and put the bins in the market bags to keep them safe from any rain or anything that might happen. And then we're going to zip them up and put them under the table, so they should be fine overnight. It's not like it's going to storm or anything, so it should be good. And then they're going to lock the place down, so we'll be good. So we have everything on the shelves. We're getting ready to put all of the bins into the bags. I will do a little walkthrough real quick of what everything ended up looking like, but we're going to put all of the stuff back into the market bags, but in the totes that we stored it on and by shelf, so we know where everything goes. We took pictures so we know everything will go in the morning, so we will be here early. Good morning, it's market day. We just got here, we got all of our bags unloaded. We are going to set up everything up on the shelves now, and I'll give you a little time lapse of that this morning because we're in a hurry. Good morning. We are all set up. All of the plushies are out. I'm gonna give you a walkthrough of what the booth looks like really quickly before we get started. We're all three here. We also might check out and see if there's some coffee because I got a little muffin and a little egg from the hotel that we stayed in last night, but none of us slept good and retired. And it's just anxiety and nerves from being at a market for the first time. So let me show you the booth though, and maybe we'll get some coffee, but if I do, I will let you know and show you. Our $5 bins, our burp cloths, we have our other overflow bins, all of the big things. So many new things this market. Look at the big cow. We have April and Mom, or Stacy, whichever one you want to call her. I call her Mom, but I call her Mom. And then another little table. So we went with like a Z pattern for our booth this time, and we have this mat too because it's all wood chips in here, which of course brand new wood chips, but it is a like 4-H barn essentially, a fairground barn. So I think this will go well. Got an iced caramel latte from this cute little coffee shop over here. I'm gonna head back to the booth and check in on Mom and April and let April know that there's a coffee truck down here because she was just thinking about going and getting some. And then yeah, we'll see how today goes. It's nice weather so far. It's gonna get hot later and chance of rain, so it'll probably get humid this afternoon, but looking good so far. Good morning. It is 11 o'clock. I wanted to check in real quick. 8 to 10 was VIP, so it was a little slow, but the fairgrounds is a very big area. I'll have to like put a little map in there as well for you guys. Yeah. So it's 11 o'clock, so we're like an hour into like the full access. It's starting to get busy. I have sold 2 things today. I sold a Mushy Boy Luffy out of all things first. And then the second thing I sold was my Tice the Turtle. I'll put a picture of him too.
That comes, no, that's sorry, that's okay. No, all the way back there, you're good.
And I sold my medium Tice the Turtle with like the opal eyes with really pretty teal color and the variegated shell. So I'll have to put a picture in if I remember, but just 2 things so far, which is all right, but we're technically like an hour in to full access. 3 hours into the whole thing though, so hopefully it'll pick up and it'll get busy today. Barn number 2, here we go. So we're under a pavilion over that way. Food trucks, we just went into that barn, and then we still have one more full barn to explore for today. This is gonna be cool. Ooh, sorry. So again, I'll have to put like a map up of what the show ended up looking like. But again, all the food trucks are up here, and then building number 1, building number 2, and then this is the main building where you checked in and everything, which we went into earlier. And then again, you've seen our little show pavilion outside. I think that there's like one more building, maybe even 2 behind our pavilion building. But again, I need to look at the map and I need to find out if I need to go over there. But I also want to check on Mom at the booth because I feel like I've walked around a lot today and she might not like that, so I'm gonna go find her and stuff. But there's some really cool crocheters and stuff here, which is really, really neat. It's definitely been a little bit of a different show than what we're used to. This is definitely more thrifty, flea markety, and that's what it was advertised as. So there's a lot of vintage thrift stuff going on, which is really cool. Or back again. Back streets back. All right. Oh, my mom's so done with me today. Anyways, we're here. It is 3:05. The biggest thing I've sold today was my Turtwig, my last Pokemon remaining, which is exciting. The other thing I've sold 2 Loaf Cats for 22 with the glitter eyes and all that jazz, so that's been pretty good too. They've gotten a lot of attention, and so have my Percy the pigs, because they're on the corner this time, which has been really cool. So Mom sold her Delilah the Dragon, which you've probably already seen her video before you'll see mine. But there's a really big dragon, yellow dragon, that she's had for quite a while, and it is yellow and white with like flowers on the horns, really cute. Anyways, I'm gonna give you a last little update here in a little bit because we're getting closer to the end. It is 4:40. We're getting ready to wrap up. We got the booth that is getting ready to close up. I'll show you a last walkthrough of the booth and what it looks like and everything, and what we ended up selling for today and everything, as we always do. But I will show you the booth one last time before we get ready to pack up so you get an after. And I made this while we were here. Oh, and we're back in the office. So this show was a lot. We were in Corydon, Indiana. We were about an hour and a half away from home, plus a time change and everything. So it was a lot, but it was really fun. I loved the event venue itself. It was really cool how it was set up with the barns, the indoor, outdoor. I liked how everything kind of flowed. Our building, again, was a little off to like the side, but people could visibly see us and see people walking that way out the door and things. So, I mean, people paid to get in, so they wanted to make sure that they hit everything. There was a map at the front gate, so they knew what buildings there was people in, what buildings there weren't people in. Again, there was like our pavilion, another building, and like the main building in the middle with like the food trucks surrounding it and some other outdoor tents. So it was very well set up, I felt like, and the flow of it was pretty good. Again, originally we were set up directly across from a crocheter in like the back corner of that barn that we were in. Like, we were over here by the gate and we were going to be at the very end of that row. And I think that some people walked in and kind of glanced down and might not have walked all the way down there. So being right as soon as you came into the like little gate area of the pavilion we were in was very helpful. I felt bad because the crochet booth that was at the end on the other side was already set up from like the night before or whatever, or from earlier the night before than when we got there. And the person who had walked us over there was like, what do you guys have? And we're like, crochet. And they're like, this booth right across from you is crochet. We don't want that. We're gonna move you from somebody else that's not quite there yet. So they moved us by the gate since that person wasn't there yet, so we would be as far away from each other as possible. So I felt bad that we were so much closer than that other booth. But again, that other booth sold some really big items that we saw people walking by our booth with and stuff, so that was really, really cool to see. We're glad they did so well. They sold this huge jellyfish looking thing for like $80, and I mean they had like a dual stroller, like a 2-seater stroller that they were pushing, and a kid was in one side, and they strapped the jellyfish into the other side of it because it was so big. It was a huge jellyfish, so that was really cool to see. I'm glad they still did pretty well. When I checked in with them later in the afternoon, and they said they did pretty good for this show. They said that last year you could walk all the way through that building to back to the other side, or some more outdoor vendors were back there on that side too, instead of having it closed off to only one entrance and exit in that building. And so that's why she signed back up and she stayed in the same spot. So I would be a little upset if I was her, and I could tell that she was a little upset with that, but overall I feel like it was pretty balanced still between our booth and her booth. There was some other crocheters, but there was a lot of wearable crocheters, or they had like one little corner of crochet stuff that they made, or just keychains that they crocheted along with like bracelets or something like that. So it was pretty balanced. I think we were mostly like one of the only big plushie stand there, which I think definitely helped our numbers for the day. But again, our numbers still weren't good, which is why I'm sure that you've made it this far into the video. So let me get to that part of exactly what I sold from today. Again, if you haven't watched my videos before, me and my mom do all of our markets together. You probably saw her in the videos, also in a green shirt. Her channel is Stacy Makes over here on YouTube though, and she does a market recap of her own and market videos of her own and stuff too. So if you want to go check out what she sold, what she's been making for markets too, and some more inspiration, go check out her channel as well. She'll have different numbers and more of a breakdown and stuff on her side as well. My numbers don't usually include a lot of the booth rents and those kinds of things, or food taken into account, just because that comes out of our collective money usually, and she divvies that up at the end based on how much it was and stuff, and we split that. So it's really up to her on, you know, what sold and what didn't sell, or, you know, what fees she wants to split and which ones she wants to keep to herself. Though again, we did go the night before, we did get a hotel as well for this market, just because it was almost 2 hours away and a time change. So we would have had to be up at like 4 in the morning, because that's 5 their time, and then almost a 2-hour drive, and setting up shelves and unloading and everything and setting it up the day of would have been a very much a lot of stuff. So I'm glad that we didn't do that, but I'm glad we got a hotel. But again, her numbers might show a little bit more of that side of things if you're interested in all of that. But from what I sold from the day, they had VIP from like 8 to 10. I only sold one thing right at 10 o'clock. So it was very slow, the VIP hours. You paid twice as much and you got in first, you know, you got in early, you got to see all the booths before everybody else and stuff if you're into that. So it was a lot of older people that were already up and about, you know, wanted to get their day started, or already had some ideas of what they were looking for, because it was, as you saw, kind of like a flea thrift market as well for a lot of the buildings and booths and stuff that they've done. But their event was honestly very well organized, I feel like. The thing that I sold at 10 o'clock though was my Luffy mushroom boy. I had a little mushroom boy that I made a hat that was yellow with the red stripe on it for Luffy from One Piece. I made it originally for the anime market and then ended up selling here, which I sold a lot of my last anime stuff that I kind of had left, which was kind of cool too at this market. Wouldn't have thought about that since it was like out in the middle of fairgrounds and fair country, but I sold my Luffy mushy boy for $10. I sold my medium Tice the Turtle. It was the teal one that was so cute. It was one of my favorites, and it was one of the first ones that I had posted for like my Titus the Turtle pattern, I believe, and everything. And it was the pictures I used for all of that. Very teal, bright colored, opaly eyes. I love that turtle very much, and the color combinations that came on that. And this lady fell in love with it, and she was like, I'm trying to see if my husband will buy it or I'm gonna end up buying it. So I sold that for $25. I sold a mini Loaf Kitty. It was one of the last ones I had left because my mom started making them. So I had one of those for $12. I had a little squid in my $5 bin. I had the Turtwig Pokemon. That was $30. That was one of my last big things really that I had from the Anime Fest that I thought would sell there. I sold all the other Pokemon at my Anime Fest, and you can check out that video if you're interested in that market recap as well. But I did sell the Turtwig for $30. I sold 2 of my big loaf cats with the glitter eyes for $22. Again, they were very popular. Lots of people still got them down and stuff. I did find at this market a lot more people looked at the tags on them and thought it was like, they kind of like raised their eyebrows at the price a little bit and then put them back, which is okay with me though, because I know that they'll sell still. And that's the whole reason I raised my price, because originally they were $20 and they were flying off the shelves. I could not keep them in stock, I felt like, and I was always making them and I was tired of always making them, so instead I bumped up the price a little bit, especially because I started using glitter eyes instead of the black eyes too. So $22 is still a very reasonable price for me for those, so I sold 2 of them. I sold like a Sweet Snuggles little dino, like chunky dino, for $10. I sold a little repo guy. I made a little purple repo character in a couple videos back. Just something fun to do, something I made really quickly. I made a quick little pattern for it, and this girl fell in love with this big pink one I had, and I said, oh my gosh, I have another one that's like in my $8 bin somewhere. Let me find them for you. And she looked and she couldn't find them, so I found them for her, and she's like, yes, I need to have it. And it was just this cute little repo guy with little bobble legs and arms and his just big ol' eyes. It was so cute. I loved that little guy. Lots of people recognize the repo characters. I sold a snake for $10. I sold my little Appa. I made like the little avatar water bison little character. I made it was a quick little no-sew pattern on Instagram that I found, and I made that, and it was in my $8 bin just for fun. And then I sold my big pink repo character that I've been in the background of my videos for a little while. I thought I would sell him at the anime market, but this one, it was right on the corner. Lots of people recognized him, and it was just so cute. A lot of people even took pictures of him just because it was silly and it was cute. So maybe I'll make some more of those. Again, I have the pattern written up for myself, but I haven't made them yet. But I have that one for $25. So total from today, I made $187 total. Again, that's not including food or the hotel or the booth split cost. I would say that that's probably going to be close to at least $70, so I'll probably just round it. I'll probably just say that I made like $110 realistically at this market with everything and stuff. But and considering how much inventory I brought to this market and actually displayed and everything, I sold about 9 to 10% of my inventory at this market. If you've watched my past videos, you know that I like to put a percentage in there just to kind of rate how good a show was. Because again, if you only bring, you know, $300 worth of inventory and you sell, you know, 1 or 2 things, that could still be a lot of your inventory, you know. But if you have, you know, a couple $1,000s worth of inventory and you still only sell 1 or 2 things, then it's not the same, you know, it's not the same effect because you had so much more displayed. So I sold about 10% of my inventory. I would say that we're probably not going to go back to this one just because of how far it was away, how much work it was. It was a cool venue, and we were under the pavilion, we weren't out in the sun, we didn't have to set up a tent and all of those things, so that was very, very nice. But again, it was more of a flea market and people were coming for that, so most of the people who bought our stuff, again, were the kids, because there wasn't a lot of kids booths, you know, there. So that was exciting at least. And a lot of people that bought our stuff really lit up when they bought it. And my mom, you'll have to go check out her video again, but she sold one of her really big items she's had for a while, which was also very exciting when that happened. And so you'll have to check out her video and find out which one, of course. But it was a good market and a good day. And again, our friend April from the Cozy Buckeye came down and visited with us and stayed in the hotel with us and helped us set up and run our booth a little bit. And she was just so helpful throughout the day, and I know that her and mom have bonded a lot since they did the retreat and everything together. So if you haven't watched her videos, also go check those out at the Cozy Buckeye as well. She has some really good roundup videos that she's doing for particular patterns. Like she did a cow one, and I think there was like 20 like different cow patterns that she tried. She rated them, talked about them, and showed them too. So that was also really cool. If you need some more videos to watch, I would definitely recommend her videos as well. But overall, the experience was good. The weather was good. We had a good time together. And again, that's really what it's about for me, is to get out of the house with my mom and get away and just sell at least a little bit of inventory so I can make some more things to, you know, fill up my house with and my booth with. So overall, it was a good day. I'm glad we could go, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions about the market, please leave them down below. Otherwise, my Turtwig turtle, the Pokemon turtle, was the biggest thing I sold today. So if you would please leave a little turtle comment down in the description if you watch this video all the way to the end. I would love to see who watches all the way to the end of these videos. And if you have any questions, again, drop those down below. And if you need anything from me, you know where to find me, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!